Hi guys, my name is Jean. I'm a paper cutting artist, and I'm currently working on a shadow box based on Jujutsu Kaisen. And I thought it would be interesting to record myself doing an entire frame from start to finish to kind of reflect on the process a little bit and show you guys how it works. What you are not going to see is the designing part. So I've already made my design. I've already made the drawing on tracing paper, but you're gonna see everything starting from there. So here we go. So I based my design on the ladies of Jujutsu Kaisen, which I think are amazing, and this was like my way of paying tribute to them. What I do is that I pick images that I like and I sort of combine them. I trace a lot of what I draw from existing images. For example, this one for the main character here is an amalgamation of three different images, two for the posture and one for the expression. I also picked a monster that I liked standing next to her because I thought that little corner of the box needed a little more um, decoration, I guess. And I used the background from the Jujutsu Kaisen movie um, that shows kind of the entrance to the school. I'm sorry you're seeing my head a little bit here. The expression was really important to me for this frame. I picked a panel from the manga where she has this giant, crazy smile on her face, and I wanted that to pop out um, in shadow form. So I really paid a lot of spent a lot of time on her expression, making sure it was like nice and wide, nice and crazy. Um, and after I'm done tracing, I usually draw over the trace to make sure all the lines are nice and neat to make it easier to cut later. Fixing anything that needs fixing. Usually I won't trace the whole thing because I don't want drawings to overlap. It makes it too complicated to figure out where I am in the design afterwards. So I'll fill in anything that needs filling in. I'll add extra details that I didn't bother to trace and that I'll draw straight onto the page. Um, Adding a few leaves. The front frame usually doesn't have the most details in the background because otherwise they'd hide everything that's behind it. So I'll usually just add just a few leaves, just a few details of the background on the first frame, and then fill out the background a lot more um, in the frames that are behind it. Went back to work on the face a little bit because I really wanted to get this right. Like I think I still wasn't happy completely with it by the time I was done with it. Again, you'll see my face a lot here because I was leaning really close to make sure I got the face just the way I wanted it and went really slow with it. You can't see it here, but yeah. Um so yeah, a lot of this is just my hair. I started cutting with the face, which I don't usually do, but this was actually a retry of um, that frame. I had done it once and wasn't happy again because of the face. So uh, the face is where I really wanted to focus, and I thought if I mess this up again, there won't be any point in cutting the rest of the thing because I'll have to do it again. Cutting the nails that she's holding was also a bit of a challenge because they are really thin. The stalks of the nails are really thin, and I needed to pay really close attention to where I stopped cutting and where it connected to the hand because a wrong move and the nail would just have fallen right off. And it's too small to paste back on; it would look really messy. So this is why you really have to focus. Dress details were a little easier because then you have a lot more space to um, just play around with the thickness of the lines. I decided against hollowing out the dress, which I do sometimes for clothing, because she's the front character, she's the center thing that your eye will be drawn to, so she needs to be nice and filled in. This is the monster that's next to her. I used that bit from the anime where you see that monster just kind of swimming around in the ground in the rugby field. I thought that was a fun detail, so I decided to add that in. And she's a badass, so she doesn't care that a curse is right next to her. And then cutting out the leaves is always a little more tedious. It's just like doing some rough shapes and adding some holes the way they would be, the way they would look on in a tree. So this is one of those turn off your brain and just let your hand work kind of moments. And once I was finished with the character, I was a bit more relaxed. So this was more of a um, just follow the lines and don't think too hard about what you're doing. I did copy pretty much exactly the background when it came to the trees and the no idea what you call them. They're not lanterns, but like the stone statues by the end of by the side of the road. Um, because that is not my area of expertise, so I just followed the background from the manga that knows from the anime, sorry, because they know what they're doing. And this is the last tricky bit. You want to take out the paper that you won't use, and if you pull on anything too hard, and if you didn't cut anything well enough, you might pull on. You might tear something. You might damage your final paper cut. So you want to be really careful when you take that out. And here's the final frame. All in all, this took me about an hour and a half to complete, not including designing the stuff on tracing paper. And this is the first frame that will go in front of the box. I've got, I think, 6 in total. So there you have it, little reflection of what it looks like to work on a frame like this. Thanks for watching!